If you construct a great piece of music that brings people into your world, those things tend to stick around forever. Those memories tend to stick around forever.
被单抓，但是大部分情况也还好，因为我们还有优势，但是我们要扩大自己的优势。我们的下一个目标是大龙，这一切的关键就在于掌控视野。我现在大龙里面放一个针眼，但是只能保证大龙圈里没有视野，因为这样大龙上方我没有视野，所以对手可以轻易的过来。 而且可以和我们抢夺大龙的控制权。我们来做大龙上方的视野，这个眼可以帮我们看到敌方，也可以防止敌方埋伏。因为重要目标都被我们的视野覆盖，布隆想要进入就已经很难了。他想要穿过红 buff 重新拿到大龙的视野，所以我们这次很容易就能抓住他，然后就可以继续进行推进，提防水晶，他会打大龙。 你的队友不一定要完美，如果你有充分的准备。
Welcome back to the Oceanic Pro League for Sunday of Week 3. My name is Michael Hingersing, and if you're just joining us, Direwolves are up 1-0 over Tainted Minds in a game that, well, it was up and down in terms of respect and also brush ganks. All right, before we get into Game 2, though, I want to let you know about the OPL Show podcast, hashtag OPL Show, that you can find on iTunes and SoundCloud. It is a podcast where we review and then preview the week in League of Legends. Myself, Jake Spontiberia, and Matthew Fish Stewart. And I'm going to tell you, on this week's episode that we're going to record in the coming week, there's going to be some roasting of some casters because they're, well, anyway. All right, let's get into Game 2. This is Direwolves up against Tainted Minds. Can Tainted Minds take a game back? I'm joined at the desk here by Tim Carbon-Wendell and Nathan Mendrix Mendez. And Carbon, let me start with you. What do Tainted Minds need to do to pick up a game? Because they had a strategy. Hide in the brush, take a couple of kills. But they were also, 10, 12k gold down.
Work from behind. Look, I think the issue in the first game is what I like to call being better played.
Sure.
And that is where the enemy team beat you just because they're better. It's not like there wasn't a big mistake. There wasn't a big macro. They went to lanes. Chippy's almost solo killed. Should have solo killed Nautilus. I think bot 2v2'd. I think, mid was close as well. I think they organically got top tower, which means there was no interference. Fiora got top tower on her own. Same with bot tower. I think Elise came down only to finish the tower off. So, look, TM really need to try and clean up their early game. They need to not lose lane, I think is a really big one, because if they get onto an even par, I think that we saw from last game that their macro is pretty good. Very good from behind. They made a lot of picks, and I think if they were even, or even maybe a little bit ahead, that they have a good chance to maybe take a game.
All right. Well, Mendrix Fantix in the first week told us that for Direwolves, it was just a matter of them overcoming themselves. So is Tainted Mind just hoping that the Direwolves stumble over themselves, perhaps in terms of arrogance and/or disrespect?
No, I don't think that's what they're hoping for them to do. I mean, it is something that can come and get them in the end, and we saw it towards the end of the game that it is something that is possible. But the big thing that in terms of like the Direwolves need to look at is just sort of taking that advantage and then rolling with it correctly, not getting lax, not letting themselves let Tainted Minds get those opportunities and those gank brushes. And Tainted Minds, again, sort of echoing what Carbon had said, they need to look towards fixing up that early game, and then they can, once they weather that initial storm that is Direwolves, they should be okay. And I think they can actually do that through the drafting phase as well. And the reason why I want them to do that is sort of put Praetor on a carry, something that he can actually deal with chippies and knock out one of those factors that allows them to get ahead.
All right, well, something which I was interested by in that first game, as we bring it up, is some stats from Choo Choo's, your friend and former
Old mate.
teammate,
Yep.
Carbon. Now, if you look at this, 10 kills, 3 deaths, 4 assists on Jace. Jace is looking to be that power pick that we've seen the entire weekend.
I think that the way the meta is developing right now with squishy champs in almost every role other than maybe top. You know, we're looking at aggressive junglers like Kha'Zix and Elise. We're looking at carry supports like Zyra and Malzahar. The AD carries don't have escapes mostly. We're looking at like stuff like Jhin, Varus, MF we saw last game. And Jace is fantastic into these champions because they don't have an easy way to avoid his shock blast. The new lethality build means that he's doing near true damage to them. In most cases, is doing true damage to them. And so Jace, I think, is just a great pick in this meta. And if you're a good Jace player, there's a really good opportunity for you right now to grab some easy wins.
And what I want to touch on that as well, if we look at all the games that happened previously, like Jace has literally been picked in every single rotation first. I mean, first of this game, I mean, he wasn't picked up first before, but it's still in the first rotation of picks available to you. And in the games that we had yesterday, if he wasn't banned out, he was generally in those first lot of rotations. So at the moment, he's an extremely high priority pick.
All right, well, that is our preview of Game 2, Direwolves versus Tainted Minds. Can Tainted Minds get back into this series? Well, it's time for us to throw to our casters to find out. It's Spawn and Fish.
Thanks, Hingers, and thank you for roasting us. I hope there's another Misfortune game here so you can learn a thing or two about how to play your champions. But for now, we're about to get into the second match here between Direwolves and Tainted Minds.
You need to sing a new song, buddy. I feel like every single time you want to insult the man, you just go towards his small champion pool. He's only been playing for a short amount of time. You, on the other hand, shouldn't throw away many stones at the moment when it comes to solo queue.
Why is that? Diamond player here, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Not going 115 on All-Stars anytime soon. Feeling good about that one. So now that we are into picks and bans for the second match between Direwolves and Tainted Minds here. LeBlanc already been banned out on the side of the Direwolves, blue side of the map, which means Tainted Minds will get a secondary ban here.
Yeah, they certainly will. I mean, I don't know really what they're going to go towards. I mean, maybe they take away the Fiora and get rid of some of the split pushing threat, or leaves Cannon up as, I guess, really unsurpassed up there for Chippies to be able to grab. Maybe Jace has to be, I guess, dealt with because we've seen he's been incredibly potent at this stage.
Wouldn't be surprised if that's the final ban from Tainted Minds. So would give Direwolves the opportunity to first pick it. Said they do ban that one out. Kha'Zix was also banned out by the Direwolves with Malzahar. Zyra is left on the table if they decide to pick it up, or they can go for Misfortune again. Try and force Tainted Minds to play that unfavorable support matchup.
Yeah, I mean, or they could even just take,
Ooh.
you know, something like a Zyra. I mean, yeah, Rise will do.
And that's what they're going to pick up. Fantix is going to be playing that one in the mid lane. Haven't seen too much Rise in the OPL, but has been banned out in a couple of games. I don't quite remember if we actually seen a Rise play recently.
No, I mean, we saw him a lot in week 1, but you're right, you know, week 2 and 3 has definitely fallen down. Has been banned, I think, more than he's been played,
Yes.
which is a little bit interesting. There's a couple of stealaways here for the Tainted Minds squad.
Yeah, they're going to take the Misfortune. Rosie very comfortable on the champion. Could still be Cake that picks it up. Direwolves now have the option to pick up Zyra, who's one of the most popular support picks, but they're going into an unfavorable matchup if they do. Churnfire bringing out the Graves. See how he uses that one in the jungle.
I mean, this means that they're probably going to be playing another tankless lineup because we know for a fact that Chippies prefers to play carries.
Yep.
All of them are still available. And, you know, Graves, AD carry in his own right, is certainly going to be prone to being shut down. I mean, this means that something like a Syndra can come out for Choo Choo's, and even though not as potent as maybe the AD champions with lethality at the moment, certainly still deals well with AD carries.
It does. We are going to get Varus picked up here, was banned out previously, which means we will see Rosie pick up Misfortune as his supportive choice, unless we do see the flex of Varus into the mid lane. Fantix did go for the Zyra pickup for Destiny. So they did force themselves into that matchup. A little bit of mind games coming out from these two teams. Kennen, next man out, targeted towards Chippies. They don't want Cassiopeia to hit the Rift either. Choo Choo's now taking some bans.
I mean, I think right now if you are Tainted Mind, you get rid of Fiora, and they do. I mean, Praedyth, he actually had a fairly good game on the Nautilus still, but when your team gives away, like, what, a triple or a quadra over to the Fiora, and you're not going to have much of a chance to be able to stand up against her in the turret dive situation, it's just one of those things that gives you less avenues to win the game if the split pusher gets that far ahead.
Final ban coming out from the Direwolves is going to be Syndra. More targets towards Choo Choo's champion pool. Direwolves still get to pick up their top laner as well as their AD carry.
I mean, I think right now you just take the strongest tank available, you get yourself Maokai and see if you can 5v5 against this squad. It's a little bit of a risk because things like Aurelia and Jax and things like that can split push are still available. But I really do feel like Tainted Mind's best hope of winning this game is with a good team fighting top laner.
It's a little bit of a shame that Tainted Mind's had to ban out Chippies there because the likes of Jhin are still left open. They could have possibly thrown a Jhin ban out there. But instead, King will pick up that champion to go with Zyra. Very potent lane in the bottom lane. Kratos going to get a last pick for... Sorry, he's not. He does have Poppy already picked up for himself, which means we will see Choo Choo's get the last pick of choice up against this Rise. Dire will still waiting to see what the final champion is going to be. Maokai is the choice for Chippies in the top lane to go up against the Poppy, so tank or tank matchup. Final pick for Tainted Minds will be Choo Choo's.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I mean, both teams running one tank and running pretty squishy everywhere else. We're going to have a pick for Choo Choo's right now coming out. I mean, when you have a look at it, a lot of mid laners have been banned away at this stage. I mean, what is it? 3, 5, 4, arguably 5 if you count Malzahar as a flex so far. Most of them have been on Direwolf's side, so Choo Choo's is pretty animate about something.
Corky seems to be what that is. That's going to get locked in again for a second game. And this time Choo Choo's playing it, not Fantix. He's going to be taking that one against the Rise, opting for the cleanse probably again. Have to see if that changes to exhaust later on, which is the go-to summoner spell for the Corky.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, I expect him to still keep it just because of the 2-second snare that comes out of Rise at earlier levels. I want to look towards Schernfire and Fantix this game. Schernfire said, you know, he's here to dominate, and I think that at a part of that game, he was like 2-5-1. I mean, definitely wasn't having the best performance. And I think that top lane won so super hard. I mean, Chippy's even picked up, you know, that massive triple kill, was able to split push, killed Praedyth underneath his turret. King and Destiny did a really great job of nullifying that bottom lane, you know, picking up the early kill, being able to shove in super hard. And the only area where you could maybe say there was a little bit of weakness was the fact that Choo Choo's got actually pretty massive in that game. And Schernfire and Fantix didn't really keep him down all that much. So I think that what we should look for in this game is, even if Direwolves get to a big snowbally lead, is where's that coming from? Is it always going to be the top lane? Is it always going to be their duo lane? Or can Schernfire and Fantix really team up? Because if they can, they're going to become one of the scariest duos in the OPL. Mechanically, these players are just so damn good.
And we didn't see too much out of Schernfire even early. His first gank in the OPL, missed the point-blank cocoon on Elise. That's not something you really want to see out of someone who's, you know, coming in for Sybil, who in his own right is a fantastic jungler. And Direwolves have been really outspoken that, you know, they want to see if they can flex the two of them. But Schernfire has to show some sort of different playstyle here.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, the full AP build as well also meant that he was incredibly squishy, so you can understand, you know, while those brush camps were stacking up, how he was dying so easily. As I said, that game was never really in doubt. If you're a Direwolves fan, I mean, you look at that game and you're like, even though it went to 40 minutes, from about 14 we were winning as we jump onto Summoner's Rift, but it was just never really that back and forth.
Certainly was not. We are back onto Summoner's Rift for the second match between Direwolves and Tainted Minds. But before the action gets underway, let's check in with Hingers, who's with one of the coaches.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm standing here with Sharp, coach for the Direwolves. And I want to start by asking you about the Graves jungle pick for this. Is it something you would have considered pre-7.2, or is this new patch, new jungle picks?
Oh, yeah. Like, it's kind of, as the patches are changes, I mean, patches changed. Yeah, like, a lot of new junglers are coming out, like Ivan, and I think Graves as well is, like, really suits... He's working in this meta, like, I don't know, just really suits all the team comps we play with, and then it does quite well into Elise, so I think putting Schernfire and Graves will work out well.
You also seem to be banning out Choo Choo's there a lot in a lot of mid lane target bans. Was that something you expected to coming into this, or was this after the first game performance you felt like that was necessary?
Well, we kind of tried to get Jay's first pick. We thought that'd ban Rise, so getting Rise first pick kind of like... Instead of banning the tops, we banned the mid laners for Choo Choo, so giving Fantix a better matchup mid. So banning out the counters to Rise, well, Cassio's a bit of a counter to Rise, and Syndra does well against Rise as well. So we just kind of wanted to give Rise an easier way into the game and get through and scale up.
All right, well, best of luck in the game, and thank you for speaking to us.
There we go, hearing from the Direwolves coach there. Schernfire seems to be comfortable on the Graves, taking it into the Elise matchup. really want Fantix to do well into Choo-Choo's on this rise. We weren't expecting to get that pick from the Direwolves.
Yeah, I mean, and when you have a look at it, I think in week 1 it was, both the Chiefs and the Direwolves put heavy priority onto that particular pick. So you can understand why it is so popular and, you know, where that idea kind of came from. Praedyth actually trades very well versus Chippy.
Cheeky damage coming off Praedyth. Does get the grass and the Undying proc as well. So does Chippy's. Now the buckler can be thrown straight into Chippy's face. That's going to hurt. Even gets a grass proc for that one too. Something interesting we saw with Tainted Minds is they invaded towards the Direwolves to stop the sapling stack that Chippy's tried to put down the mid lane, stopping Fantix from picking that one up nice and early.
Yeah, and what that does is, you know, because it didn't get an advantage elsewhere and he had to start sapling, if he can't start pushing the lane early on, you do get harassed off because you don't have that queue for the constant trading, as you saw the Poppy does. So really nicely played there from Tainted Minds and a lot of damage.
Cool. Fantix just easily clears out that wave and just decides, you know what? I want to hurt you, Choo-Choos. Come here.
And you can see that a little bit of a difference in styles between the mid laners. I mean, Corrupting Potion was picked up last game by Fantix, I believe, as now potentially gank in the top lane.
Oh, Praedyth's actually going to throw Chippies away. A little bit of miscommunication almost, it seems.
No, potentially. I mean, it also gave him that little mini stun that allows you to get within range. You can't walk straight away after you've been tackled. They also trade Jungler Flash for the top laner Flash, so that's not a massive deal. It's now Churnfire looking to get involved, but misses everything.
Yep, he even quick draw into this one, so Shorter Ace knows he can fight this man. Does get the smite for a little bit of extra health. Shorter Ace goes back and takes the Scuttle Crab. He's now going to run super fast on top of this Scuttle Crab. Churnfire trying to stop him. Exhaust comes out for Choo-Choos, and first blood picked up by Tainted Minds.
And just a brain fade out of Churnfire there. I mean, he goes aggressively forward when he really didn't have anything to be gained after he was spotted out. He used a quick draw, he flashed, and then he still kind of tried to stick around and fight. Will give a big lead over to Choo-Choos after a lot of early work had been put in by Fantix, honestly, to continue to push that advantage.
Shorter Ace already. Huge impact on the map. Top laner's flash gone. Destroyed. Churnfire gets double buff for Choo-Choos. Oh, he should be pretty happy, but Choo-Choos now getting locked down. This is a very early roam coming out from the Direwolves. Fantix does not want to stick around and go toe-to-toe against this Corki.
Exactly right. I mean, Fantix still nearly falls on the back end of that. Has double summoner spells up, so wasn't really at too much of a risk. But it's one of those things that you definitely don't want to see go down. Good roam out of Destiny as they had shoved up that lane, so we relieved pressure elsewhere. And you can see that the whole map kind of going back to equal, and I think that this is one of those winning strategies. You have to be able to get Chippies off carries because he's just so competent at them against tanks. It's kind of what Tally was like at the end of 2015 Split 1. I mean, was just very happy to play carries into tanks. Praedyth obviously content to do the team thing right now, so bringing Chippies down to his level.
You can already see that Chippies picked up the Double Doran's ring on his Maokai. Looking to just try and sustain against the Poppy. You see this for the tanks that have a hard time in lane, picking up 2 nice and early items to kind of sustain themselves well. Like Poppy normally does well into any tank matchup she's put into. Mid lane, Choo-Choo still trading with Fantix. Big shield coming out from the rise. He's able to avoid quite a lot of the damage and continues to burst him out with those E-stacks. So despite being down double buff here, Fantix is still trading very well on this rise. It's a champion that you just can't quite keep out of competitive here, Rise. Always finds a way back into it.
Yeah, it certainly does. Always relevant. Has great CC, great burst damage. Now we actually have a sneaky gank coming in from the back end.
Here we go. Cake joining Shorter Ace for this one, but a nice double root comes out from Destiny.
Oh!
But that's a big double up that Rosie managed to get down there, forcing the heal out of King as well.
Yeah, so really nicely executed there. I mean, burns the double summoner spells out of King. Destiny does live with his life. Maybe could have flashed himself to save the heal, but was not to be that time. And forces him back. So, you know, small advantages accrued on the map so far for Tainted Minds. Gives them nearly 1,000 gold.
Oh, Fantix wants this. Choo-Choo's taking a lot of damage. Shorter Ace is waiting in the wings. Valve comes out. Churnfire quick draws away from the Elise.
I mean, it actually looked like Choo-Choo's was trying to bait and then took so much damage that he decided the bait was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And Churnfire does the team thing here, comes in, pushes up the lane because Fantix is So that isn't actually a hard tax like it looks like. Actually just trying to get his mid lane a really nice shot. So gets it into the TV, resets, turret, resets,
That would be a really nice shot for the mid lane if you could go back and just buy a TV straight up. Big old 18-inch plasma TV. Oh, that's not very big.
That's not very big.
40-inch plasma TV. Go bigger.
We can do better than 18 inches.
Meanwhile, Shenfire making his way toward the top side of the map. Praetus does spot him out with the ward. Level
But
6
it's very
Poppy.
low and doesn't have all that much armor.
Shorter Race trying to scuttle his way up here. Shenfire's got to be a little bit careful.
I mean, they're trying to bait this one out.
Oh, gets him! Gets him with the blind cocoon. Shenfire takes a lot of damage. Predator puts down the pain, flashes away, but the quick draw from Shenfire picks up the kill onto the Poppy.
Yeah, I mean, that should have actually worked out as now the Corki is coming back in. Gets cut off a little bit by Fantix, who deals out some hurt.
He's popped the ghost. Here comes the explosive plant. Brings Chippies with him over the wall. There goes the Rise, trying to teleport. Does get in towards Choo Choo's. He's trying to run. No more summoners left available. The clap comes out for Chippies, and Shorter Race is going to fall as well. Big kills for the Direwolves.
Really nicely played out of Direwolves. They pick up 3 for absolutely nothing, and the gold is well and truly back in their favor. I mean, the top lane gank should have worked for Tainted Minds, but was outplayed by Shenfire. And then they just stuck around for way too long, and Shorter Ace tried to save his mid laner, when maybe you should have just let him die, to be honest.
Tainted Minds don't trade evenly there after Direwolves capitalize on their mistakes. For now, though, Tainted Minds still have control over this bottom lane. Destiny and King very far back here. Making sure that there's no way for this misfortune to get the poke down with the Make It Rain.
I mean, and now that the ultimate is being picked up by Cake, there's even less they can do. They're actually being hard zoned right now. Waves pushing slightly against them, it looks like, at this stage. Will eventually push back if they keep last hitting, although if you keep firing W's at it, King, it's not going to. And we'll see whether they call in maybe some jungle help to be able to shove that one back out.
They've got the package as well.
I was talking about Direwolves.
Ah.
As
That's
Shenfire
right.
heads down into the bottom lane.
Choo-choo's on Tainted Minds. Should remember that. Fantix still waiting for his ultimate to come back up, but at rank 1, inside a very low distance to use. Not going to be able to go halfway across the map. Choo-choo's does have that package of Tainted Minds to make a play down towards the bottom side of the map.
Looks like they're setting up for a dive, to be honest. I mean, they're pushing that one really rapidly. They've got the Corki with the package, as well as the Elise on the way.
Teleport's ready as well. Cake's going to get locked down, though, taking a lot of damage. There's the bullet time go out for Rosie. They'll trade 1 for 1, but that's the support being traded for the 80 carry here. Teleport already being used, and Poppy cancels it. Chippies is not going to be able to teleport down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, Chippies cancels. Praetor still has his available. 1 for 1 trade. It is 80 carry for support. Rosie picks up the kill on the side of Tainted Minds. Although with the current strength and misfortune, I don't know whether that is actually a bad thing. They're still going for a little bit of a fight here.
Big slow coming out from Rosie. Short Race is waiting in the wings. Do have Choo-Choo's nearby, but decide not to try anything.
And that's another really good swing for for Direwolves, because not only do they get the kill onto King, putting him up, they also broke that big freeze. They were able to get it back into the turret and reset the wave. And now all the gold advantages that was being built up for Tainted Minds in the one winning lane has been nullified. And you can see that Chippies, now that he's got the kill, much more comfortable going toe-to-toe with Praetor. Mid lane definitely in Fantix's favor. And see whether they can accelerate the pace of the game, as they've been able to so many times in the OPL so far, the Direwolves.
Yeah, they're trying to do just that. Chippy's very comfortable on this tank at the top lane for now.
Shenfire back up top. You see this time Fantix is also on his way.
Spotted up by the ward, immediately leaves the jungle, but just immediately comes straight back, trying to duke them out. Praetor's now in a bit of trouble. Chippy's looking to see if he can get the collapse going on, but Shenfire happy to just deny some CS and get damage on these turrets. Cocoon not going to connect. Now Fantix is up here as well, looking for the first turret gold.
Yeah, I mean, they should be able to pick this one up. There's still a turret left alive, a creep left alive. Maybe wait one more wave, but it's pretty much gone. And that's just Direwolves brute forcing the wave time and time again. And no real response coming out of Tainted Minds.
Choo-Choo is going to be able to get some damage down, but a teleport being used by Praetor actually. Looking to see if they can trade turrets in the mid lane too, but Rise is already here. Tainted Minds desperately want to try and even out this disadvantage created by the Direwolves.
I mean, that's a really weird teleport. They're not going to be able to get it. All of a sudden, Praetor can't even freeze top lane, and they might be in trouble mid.
Oh, they're ghosting for it. Fantix wants in. There's the critical coming out. Destiny jumps in. Big ultimate coming out as well. Now, Shorter Race has got to be really careful because Sherfire's on top of her. The repel comes out, but as soon as the spider comes down, the ultimate comes out as well. Praetor has to flash away from the captive audience.
Yeah, so in the end, they're able to trade another kill. They balance the turret aggro nicely, and they're able to get out unscathed. Now it's a 2,400 gold advantage for the Direwolves. And you can see that they're very, very crisp on that rotational play. May lose out on bottom lane turret as Cake slowly whittling away.
This one should fall. Rosie's down here as well. Cake will be able to destroy that one with ease. The only advantage that Tainted Minds get out of that play.
However, mid lane is also quite low, so if they're able to make a return play there, potentially able to go 2 for 1 in the turret trade. But you're right, you know, that looked like Direwolves just read what they wanted to go for, and Shermfire was able to put out a lot of surprise damage on the back end of that, forcing Shorter Race out, I think, a little bit quicker than he would have otherwise expected.
Certainly was. Fantix now in this mid lane against Choo Choo's doing a really good job on this Rise. Making it hard for Corki to do anything at the moment. Still picking up the components for his Rod of Ages. Getting late on the Rise here, but it's already been stacking tier for quite some time. Tainted Minds looking for a quick push into the mid lane. Bullet time is available for Rosie. Can use this to try and deter Direwolves from trying to get close towards this turret. This should be an easy turret pickup for Tainted Minds. I suppose I say that Cake's been locked down. Surefire deletes him. There goes the Tainted Minds 80 carry, and they live to fight another day and defend that turret.
I mean, that's kind of surprising because they did get the snare out onto Destiny, it looked like. But not able to follow through with any damage, and then Fantix just walks up and pretty much one-shots Cake at this stage of the game. So nicely done there for the mid laner of Direwolves.
Literally caught between a rock and a hard place. Now Direwolves looking to still defend that turret. It's a single auto attack away from dying. So they're making sure they can do whatever they can. It will fall eventually, but they did get a pick for it.
I mean, and what do they get at the same time? Bottom lane turret. That's a huge wave crashing right now. You can see that they're now rotating down there as well. They want to be able to take it out. And they're also pinging onto Choo Choo's mid lane. Maokai's behind him.
Oh, Shermfire, he's going to be caught out here. Has to try and quick draw away, but Cake's there as well. Shermfire almost takes him down, but will die for it. See you later, says Rise as he gets out of there.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Choo Choo's died mid lane. I mean, there's just plays happening all over the map right now. Looks like Direwolves able to come out in the advantage as King also kills Shorter Race.
Yeah, the sniper just went wandering in the jungle there. Picks it up, casually walks back towards mid lane, gets that crit shot down. You know, pretty happy with that play.
So this is what happened to Choo Choo's. I mean, had to Volk early, gets stunned up. Really nice layering of CC there. Chippy's able to come in. King picks that one up.
That means that King picks up the snipe onto Shorter Race with a W.
No, I think he flash auto attacked.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
This is why you're the analyst.
So his flash isn't available, and he had an auto attack up. So as we take a look at what happened there, was it the W?
Please be a W.
It was.
Yes!
Well, he had to flash for it, because he definitely used flash.
He did. That he did.
So I don't know, if you want a flash W, that seems a little bit strange. I went for the percentage play.
See, we player plays don't think too much. Gut feel. That's all we rely on.
Gut feel.
The R's down, other long distance W, that's all. Tainted Minds are now going to try and take a dragon for themselves here. Mountain Dragon will be what they pick up, first dragon of the game.
Honestly, however, this game's devolved quite quickly again. I mean, we're only 14 minutes in. It's 8-3 in kills, 3,000 gold the lead right now for Direwolves, which is quite high. But we've seen a lot of fighting happening everywhere on the map. This top lane, definitely no difference.
Chippy just keeps screaming, "Fight me!" Praetor wants none of it. Sunfire Cape already picked up by the big tree. Counterintuitive, you know. You would expect the wood to kind of burn with that one on.
I mean, he does have a flaming skin, so you can understand how it works. Of course, not being utilized this time around. And it really is some extending trading going on top lane. And Sherfire's there.
Yeah, gets a bit of damage down. Good knock-up coming out from the Poppy. Flashes away promptly. This gives Direwolves some time to get some damage onto these turrets, but Rosie is up here as well. Slows them down. It's a bit of gold for himself. Clears out the wave.
So in the end, they save the turret. They do have to burn the Summoner spell, however, and not really much gained elsewhere on the map. Whilst Chippy's still just winning this 1v1 tank battle this time around.
King is Yomu's ghost blading in towards the mid lane. We can try and group up with the rest of the direwolves. You can see Rosie's picked up a very early Executioner's Calling, trying to deny the healing from the direwolves. Especially with Chippies, you have to keep watching out for that.
Yeah, you certainly do. I mean, the Maokai passive is just so useful in these extended team fights, and you expect them to be coming sooner or later. Potentially big flank being looked for by Chippies, although right now they need to be more concerned probably from the Tainted Mines and with the bottom lane turret as King's pushing that one in. Looks like all 5 members on the same screen. They want to start utilizing the poke of Cake as well as Choo Choo's, but wave clear is superior right now, and they're being able to clean it up.
Surefire dashes away from the arrows, while the rockets that come out there. Tainted Mines are looking to try and hide under brush again. I can see the pings. I know what they're trying to do.
Look, potentially they're expecting a face check towards the top side of the map. I don't know why, because priority-wise right now, King just has the bottom lane lit up, and direwolves aren't falling for the trap. This is exactly what you should do when you know,
When in doubt,
have no vision on top side, just play bottom side.
I mean, one of the biggest rules in League of Legends is that there's a Garen in every single brush, even though Garen's not in the game. So direwolves respecting that one now, as Fantix avoids the ultimate from Cake due to the increased movement speed from his passive.
And you would have to say that Fantix is having a much better game this time around. 103, 40 CS up.
Yep.
Really has been in control from the start of the game. Even when he was pushing up early into Choo Choo's, who did get gifted a double buff, so it's important to note that, he has been very good this time around.
Call coming out from King. Good damage coming out there, but doesn't do too much.
It's going to be another turret falling, so
Yep.
just the absolute capitulation right now.
They flash forward here. Fantix has got behind Praetus as well. He managed to ultimate the Maokai away. Will be able to live to top tail.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, I mean, they've just lost 2 turrets for absolutely nothing, and there is no response play because King has solo defended the top lane turret somehow against 2 members, and now Destiny's streaming in against Cake.
Just looking to try and get him with the graphs there. Almost connects. Shorter Race is waiting in the wings. Destiny smartly does not decide to overcommit, so to speak. Direwolves now looking to see if they can hold on to this lead. 5,000 gold up. Just slowly and surely increasing for the squad too. Fantix still clearing out the bottom lane. Has both his summoners available. Already completed the Rod of Ages as well. Seems like he wants the Abyssal Scepter next. Trying to mitigate some of the magic damage that the Tainted Mines squad dish out. So everyone on their team does quite a hefty bit of magic damage. Once they pick up his boots first, still split pushing in the bottom lane.
Can see a slightly tankier build coming out of Shorter Race right now on the Elise, and the map has, I guess, gone back to a little bit of normal. It's 6,000 gold right now for direwolves. It was really just those turret takes against the tide of play that really did set them up for such a powerful mid game. And now 20 minutes in, I mean, they're kicked off right where they left off. They've just been able to continue to just dictate the pace.
Baron is up and available to be taken 20 minutes into this game. Dragons spawning in the next minute and 30 seconds. You see everyone from the side of direwolves have control wards, 2 for Chippies and 2 for Destiny as well. They want to light up Summoner's Rift.
Certainly do. You can still see that it doesn't matter really though, because Cake does a lot of damage, and if he's able to land the poke on the correct members, we'll be able to, help carry out the fights.
The curtains have dropped though. Here's Cake looking to be jumped on. Destiny is going to get the roots down, forces a flash, but Surefire gets the execute with his ultimate. He's just been the target for the direwolves this game.
I mean, Cake just needs to flash earlier. If the root is coming out and you're going to be hit by it, you're going to have to burn the flash anyway, as all of a sudden they're flashing in.
Poppy tries to flash in for a flash wallbang, doesn't get it. Surefire trying to go toe-to-toe against the Misfortune support, comes back in, knocks Destiny out of the fight, but Chippies is here, gets the root down on towards the tank in the top lane. Tainted Mines lose their tank.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it just looks like direwolves are way too far ahead, and they're doing the smart thing this time. They're pushing up all the waves. You can see bottom lane pressuring, mid lane pressuring. They're getting picks, and they're trying to rotate it into turrets. Actually, it looks like, they've gone back, had a really good soul search, so we can clean up our play a lot in just the break time, and certainly seem to be putting the screws into Tainted Minds a lot harder this time around.
6,000 gold advantage for the Direwolves. A nice, clean and crisp play so far. Dragon is going to be coming back up here. Another Mountain Dragon. It was Tainted Minds that took the first one, but Direwolves should be looking to contest for this. Baron is still live as well, but difficult to take this early in the game. But Tainted Minds really need to start working on trying to fight back here.
I mean, they certainly do. There's not really all that much they can do. They're matched with a team fight comp this time around. And you can see that Fantix and King are just so much more accelerated over their opponents. At the same time, Chippies is like half an item ahead as well. So pretty potent as a tank. And it just limits the options that you actually have if you are the Tainted Minds lineup. I mean, Direwolves this time around, they won it off a map rotation. They were able to go bottom lane and get 2 turrets, and that just lengthened the goal to when Tainted Minds no longer can stand up to them.
Most importantly, they stayed away from the death brushes. So Direwolves still fighting for this one. Looks like they want to try and engage here. They've locked down shorter rates. Ultimate comes out early from Schönfire. The Elise is low. Destiny has been locked down, flashes away. Kate gets sniped off. King on a phenomenal performance so far. Gets Rosie as well for the 1-2 good night here as a double kill comes out for King.
Yeah, and King has been an absolute monster now. 7-0-3. 10 out of 13 kills he's participated in. That means that they're going to start up the Baron. It's only 22 minutes in, but really there is nothing the Tainted Minds lineup can do about this one. It's just going to fall way too fast.
You're just going to hope for a miracle steal. Can Choo-Choo's do it? Throws it out. Not enough. It will be Schönfire that gets the smite. And that's Baron buff for the Direwolves. Crisp, and clean play from them. 9,000 gold up.
And I mean, this is really what you hope to see out of the Direwolves squad because they are so good. Is that clean play, the ability to, jockey for position around the map. This is a red buff challenge. One more time, it's a blind face check coming out of Tainted Minds. They think that they've caught up Destiny, but he flashes away. Then King, just like a good sniper on his perch, able to pick up the double. Honestly, that's really nice play.
Direwolves, 9,000 gold up. This is the position they were in last game where the Death Rush started stacking up for the Direwolves. Against the Direwolves, I should say. Chippies was not on attack this time round, so much easier for them to make those map plays. They currently have Kingsford pushing the top lane, 3 members in the mid, with Chippies on the bottom side of the map. He has teleport available. That will slowly collapse on towards the inhibitor turret. King still more than happy to push up this top lane, slowly being collapsed on, but multiple members of the Direwolves are guarding the jungle.
So the Predator's actually gone in onto Destiny.
Takes a bit of damage. Schönfire quick draws on towards the Poppy, gets knocked up. Schönfire going to take quite a bit of damage. Ultimate comes out. Wisp Praetor, but there goes the ultimate. Critical from King's going to pick up 1 kill, and they've already taken down 1 member of the Direwolves. Sorry, the Tainted Minds squad. Now it's going to be easy for them to start pushing towards the base.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be the case. You saw that Chippies actually had walked across as well at the same time. Didn't burn the TP. He's now underneath the turret.
Cake, and he jumps on. Fantix flashes forward. Cake is gone. Shorter Race is going to follow shortly after. Destiny finds that kill.
And you see the Shorter Race, he's trying to help his fellow North American import, but not able to get it done. And King now just streaming towards Choo-Choo's, who is forced to Velk away. And this game is a much better display of just the raw power the Direwolves have. I mean, they're pushing into the base at 25 minutes into this one. They've grouped nicely when they have to, and looking to close this one out cleanly. I mean, Praetor's going for a flanking play, potentially.
Ooh, looking for the bullet time. Praetor tries to get Destiny. We'll get him. They blow so much to blow him up. Poor support. Couldn't take the Rise Express to get out of there, but they do take the top lane in a turret down.
But this is actually like, sure, Destiny gets picked up, but this is how you should punish a team if they're making desperation plays. Because they had a lane being pushed simultaneously, and King takes the top lane turret. So even though a member falls down, they had to burn a teleport for it, they had to burn the package for it, and they still don't even come out ahead because Direwolves are just all over the map and have a 12,000 gold lead. This is what game 1 should have looked like as the desperation brush plays were happening.
Take a look at the items that the Direwolves have picked up here. It's no laughing matter. Frozen Heart already complete for the Maokai with 2 standard tank items. Lethality coming out from Schönfire. All the lethality items are complete for King. He's got a BF sword to boot as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to hurt. Sarah's Embrace even completed for Fantix. Lots of resistance coming out for this Rise, especially when he gets his big shield as well as movement speed going.
Yeah, and Fantix has had a really nice game. I mean, he's been able to, get the snares going when he has to. And these are some desperation plays happening right now. I think they know they're in the brush, however.
There we go. Shenfire throws down the W. Is able to spot him out. Will get knocked against the wall, and the Death Rush works again. But this time, Direwolves are in amongst it. Chippies has teleported behind Tainted Minds. King is waiting for the execute damage. As said, clips Rosie as Predator tries to dash away. 2 kills for the Direwolves.
Yeah, so Shenfire does fall down, but 2 kills picked up. Importantly, the wave clear of Choo Choo's and the tank of Praedyth. So that means that the top lane turret should come under fire. Meanwhile, bottom lane turret slow pushed up, now reaching. So that's a lot of gold and CS being wasted. And we'll see whether they can defend or if Direwolves can break the base.
Base is going to fall pretty low here. Inhibitor turret is going to fall first. Shippies tries to collapse on towards Shorter Ace, slows him down with that knockback. Here goes Fantix, ghosting in, locks down Cake, jumped on by a tree, claps to pick up the kill, and Shorter Ace now taking the brunt of the damage. Second inhibitor is going to fall shortly. The rest of the die will stream in towards Tainted Mind's base.
Yeah, and this game looks like it's very quickly devolved.
Ooh.
King will flash away and actually die, so that's a nice return kill coming out of Choo Choo's. However, one more time, 2 inhibs down, 27 minutes into this one. Dragon is up in 30 seconds. We're about 2.5 minutes away from Baron. And this is going to be pretty close to a sub 30-minute victory if Direwolves stay on this trajectory.
And the base for Tainted Minds is in shambles. Not only the 2 inhibitors already taken now, one of the Nexus turrets is about to fall as well. Choo Choo does secure blue buff for himself, but almost too little too late here. Just waiting for King to respawn. 10 seconds, and Direwolves will have their 80 carry back up. Looking for his Infinity Edge as his 4th item.
And this definitely has been a game where, you know, we've seen the tendency of Tainted Minds to take very aggressive, risky plays.
Yep.
And Direwolves have been more than their match. I mean, they're just standing up to them. They've got much better vision control. You can see top side of the map this time around. Vision control is very solid. And
doing it again, Small.
they certainly are. They actually, if they're patient, they will catch King.
Oh, he's rotating down. Oh, they spot him. They stopped. They're waiting for King. Oh, this is going to be brutal. I almost feel sorry for the guy.
I don't. I mean,
Goodbye.
this is what happens when you don't push up with your whole team.
It's a 2-prong attack. Rosie was waiting on the other side. Now Tainted Minds look for a fight. Shorter Race tries to steal the Dragon. Not going to happen. Shenfire slams it into the wall by the Poppy. Chippy's trying to take the brunt of the damage. More than happy to take out the Poppy. Now Cake is going to be collapsed on. Big ultimate comes out from the Graves. Shorter Race is going to be the next target here as they collapse onto the Wincy Spider. Rosie is Arcade Misfortune. Not going to be able to do too much as Direwolves clean up Tainted Minds. That should be game.
It certainly should be. I mean, health bars are low, but Chippy's is still full health, and there are super creeps on the base. Fennec's going to fall down.
Choo Choo's gets 1 kill there, try to flash on forward towards Destiny. The Valkyrie is not going to be enough, takes him down, but it's going to be the plants that slap him back. It's an ace coming out for Direwolves.
And I think pretty fairly, this is going to be Chippy's just walking out of Nexus and cleaning up. 2 games in a row, the top laner of the Direwolves has been an absolute superstar, and they will 2-0 Tainted Minds for the 3 points.
Nothing much that you can do here with a big old tree slapping your base. Tainted Minds just watch as their Nexus gets destroyed. Like you said, 3 points picked up for the Direwolves.
And game 2 was much cleaner. I
Yes.
mean, they should go back and watch game 2 and think, you know, we executed our game plan this time around. We got the deep push on bottom lane. That unlocked the rest of the map. Our team fight was better. I mean, it's still a couple of random face checks here and there that they need to tidy up. But as far as like clean map play goes, I think that game 2 was a great improvement.
It certainly was. Tainted Minds tried their hardest to fight back in those 2 games, but first and foremost, early game was just completely out of control for them. Direwolves picked it up nice, clean and easy. And like you mentioned, you know, the cleanup from them in game number 2 was fantastic from the Direwolves. And with that, they take all 3 points. To break down the rest of the day, let's go back to the analyst desk.
Thank you, Fish. Thank you, Spawn. Well, Carbon. Well, Mendrix, we see there you were right. Direwolves 2-0 over Tainted Minds. And in that second game, they really seemed like they answered their critics, namely you guys, and cleaned up their play style.
Yeah, I thought so too. Look, again, a fantastic laning performance from Direwolves, I thought. Chippies, again, played very well. Their bot lane, I thought King and Destiny played extremely well again. Set up a lot of pressure around mid. You saw them roam mid quite early. Also got the bot tower pretty early. So definitely the 2 side lanes, I think, were the stars today.
Yeah, Mendrix, with Chippies just popping off in 2 games, it just doesn't die. It just doesn't die. I guess that's the point of a tank.
Well, exactly. I mean, he was flawless in terms of that game. His KDA was, I think, close towards the end, 4-0, 10, 4-0, 9. So he was absolutely going extremely well with that game. Played really well in the first game. Arguably, his pressure is the reason why they were able to go was able to do so well, specifically speaking. And really, it was just a matter of fact for the Direwolves. They played really well in that early game. They managed to hold on to everything really well, and that was how they were. That was just how they would have built that essential lead and then cleaned up that late game.
All right, well, let's take a look at the draft as you bring it up on your screen. And the Graves jungle, Carbon. Talk us through that. I mean, we heard Inero kind of pumping it up yesterday. He was predicting it, and it's because it's 7.2.
Yeah, pretty much. I think any champion that can build lethality right now is extremely strong. Graves is one of them. I think you saw a few times where, I mean, he wasn't that far ahead. He died early a couple times, but his ult was still just doing insane amount of damage. I think at one point, Varus got hit by only Graves' ult, and it did half his health. So, yeah, all you solo queuers out there, if you can build lethality, it's probably good.
What I'd like to touch on that as well is he actually played a really great play up in the top lane as well, specifically, and where he was actually 2-on-1 with a gank and managed to come out alive and with a kill. So really, it was a little bit of a credit to Schoenfire to pull that off there in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I want to point out is Misfortune. We've seen her today, AD, and we've also seen her as the support. So 7.2, we talked about yesterday, she might be that flex pick, but it's definitely a possibility going forward from here.
Absolutely. I think MF is very strong right now. Being able to flex MF, I think, is a big feather in the cap of any team who is able to do that. I think it gives you a lot of options in the draft, being able to take one early, pretending it's going support, picking an AD or vice versa.
Well, Mendrix, I think we have a replay, which we might be getting to. But before we get to that, Mendrix, let me ask you about their playstyle, the Direwolves, in that second game. A lot cleaner, a lot cooler. I feel like maybe they were listening to our criticisms between the games and settling down.
Not just ourselves, but probably their coach as well. One of the things Sharp mentioned is he wanted to sort of rein in the Direwolves. They're very, individuals in terms of how they want to play, make sure they're strong in their laning phase, and they must have listened because they were able to play it a lot better. I mean, towards the end of the game, you saw the top side of the map was absolutely lit with wards. So those guys had more control. They weren't really dying to those crazy lane brushes that Tainted Mind were trying to do, and overall it was a massive improvement.
I think the big difference in the second game was Chippy's playing a tank and not playing the split push carry, because I felt like in the first game, while they were split pushing, Direwolves weren't really respecting that they had to wait for him to get pressure. They were kind of just walking in and dying over and over and over again. But in that game, Chippy's was coming to them, and I think he made a lot of really great plays. You saw him get a lot of crucial flash routes, and credit to him.
All right, well, let's bring up that replay now, Mendrix, because I believe you wanted to talk about just the sheer amount of kills happening in this.
I mean, the big thing to note in this specific replay is how far ahead Direwolves are. As you can see there, they've managed to put decent control down, and that is why they're able to be ahead in this game. And it's just a matter of them cleaning up their gameplay the entire time. And it was just a matter of fact that they were winning skirmishes across the entire game. They built that lead, and then they were just able to easily take the win.
I think the big thing there was you could see Maokai come down from the top lane. They were fighting around Maokai. He got, again, crucial route. They couldn't really deal with him. He was just in there beating him up. And the big thing was that was how they kind of broke the game open. They took Baron after that, and with the Baron, they were able to get, I think it was mid inhib first, and from there progressed to the victory.
Well, yes, the key point there being a crucial route. All right, well, that is enough from us here. Let's throw it over to Jake, who is standing by with Destiny for the interview.
Thanks so much, Hingers. I am, of course, standing alongside Destiny, support player of the Direwolves, who just picked up another 2-0. Destiny, want to kick it off with actually the cute MF kind of switch up there, throwing it into the AD carry position, you picking up the Zyra. Is this something you guys had planned to do, or did you just catch it last night on the LCS and you're like, hey, we can do that too?
It's actually been very planned. We've been playing it for the past week or so, and we've had pretty good success across the top regions in OS. So it was sort of a coincidence being played in LCS. So when we saw it played in LCS, we were sort of happy because we knew if other regions are doing it, then it must be good. And me and Calvin are really good at abusing our leads on bot, so it worked out well.
And I want to talk about that because you obviously support player back in the day, and then you moved to AD carry for a little bit, now back to support. How are you finding laning with King? Because he's a very highly mechanical player, but we know that he likes to play aggressively. Are you guys meshing well down in the bottom lane?
Yeah, me and King are meshing really well. We're really good friends out of the game, so it helps a lot. We watch VODs. Every mistake, we look at it critically, we break it down, and he's a really good teammate. I'm really happy to be supporting him in this split.
All right, cool. It definitely is going well for you guys. I just want to also ask you about Schönfire. Obviously, you guys boot camp over in Korea. You had a couple of highlight plays yourself over there that I was able to check out. But you bring Schönfire back with you. What exactly has he instilled in the team? Because I know you guys are a big believer off the Rift as well as on the Rift in Schönfire.
I've worked with players such as Radier before when I was on Direwolves, and his mentality was great, but Schönfire's mentality is on another level. The kid is actually insane. We weren't intending to pick him up in Korea, but when he was working alongside with us, he was just like, you guys have potential. We can just work together. And Schönfire is really good, and I think he will prove himself. I don't think this set showed his actual potential, and I think this split, he'll definitely be the best jungler in the OPL.
All right, cool. With that, I mean, you guys are so good individually. I mean, there must just be that tendency to, you know, want to run over your lanes and continue that way. You once again had a, quite sloppy first game, but second game you actually cleaned it up and your macro play was really good. Is that Shern making the calls? Is that you? Because I know in the past you've been a big shot caller. I also know Fantix is quite active on comms at times. Like, who is making these calls for Direwolves, and what are you trying to achieve around the map?
Our team doesn't actually have a main shot caller. We all put our own input in because, well, from my perspective, if a team has a shot caller, then he's controlling every decision. And if he makes the wrong decision, everyone's going to blame him. So if everyone has their own individual what they need to do and everybody follows with it, then it usually works. Because if you have a shot caller, it's one person's mind. But if you have 5 people communicating, then it's 5. So we feel that having a shot caller is sort of lackluster compared to having 5 people communicating.
All right, there you go, guys. Committee is the rule for Direwolves right now, and they did pick up another 2-0 victory. Congratulations very much, Destiny. Thanks for the interview. We'll throw it back to Hingers to close out the night.
Well, there we go. Destiny there from the Direwolves talking about how Schönfire could well be the best jungler in the OPL Cup by the end of the split. Obviously today, we may not be particularly happy with his debut, but let us get right now to our MVP, our best and fairest Radier medal. And it is Chippy's 2 weeks in a row, Mendrix.
Yeah, completely agree with that. I mean, his pressure in the first game was really what let them get to that win. And then when you look at it in terms of his second game, he was absolutely flawless again. So really well deserved. I completely agree with the outcome of this Radier medal.
And out of a possible of 12 votes, picked up all 12. Carbon, you nothing but positives to say for Chippies?
Yeah, I thought he played fantastically well this series. I think he was... I think he pretty much solo carried the first game and very close to solo carried the second game as well. So I think a great performance by him. I was super impressed.
All right, well, let's take a look at the tally of medal winners for the split. Rays, Series, Chippies, all on 2 points. Lost Cake, and there are a few others who are on that first win. We're only 3 weeks in, already people are picking up week-to-week wins. It's,
only AD carries and top laners.
Yeah, AD
Interesting.
top laners. Who would have thought?
Trends are starting to be set, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because AD carries, they're getting no love, you know, but they are, popping off. As it were. All right, well, let's take a look at this weekend's results, because we started off with Sin versus Legacy. Unfortunately for you, Carbon, Legacy going down 2-1. Abyss 0-2 versus AB, picking up another win. Chiefs 2-0 over X5. That puts Chiefs top of the table, and Tainted Minds 0-2. Direwolves picking up a win there. This is the standings now. Like I said, Chiefs top of the table. Direwolves in equal second with Legacy Avant-Garde in 4th place. Sin Gaming 4th, coming up a bit after that win. Tainted Minds down in 6th, and then Abyss and Exile 5 both looking for their first match wins of the split. Next week, we're going to start things off with AV versus Exile 5. Direwolves will be taking on Legacy. Both teams will be hungry to prove themselves as the contenders to the Chiefs. Sin versus Tainted Minds will kick off on Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon, last game, Abyss versus Chiefs. Woo! Some spicy League of Legends next weekend, Carbon. Give us a preview. How you feeling going into next week? After watching Direwolves just play then.
Yeah. Well, look, Direwolves I thought played pretty well that game. They're going to be a challenge, definitely. I think they're very strong individual players. We're going to have to put a lot of work in this week if we want to compete. But I believe in the boys, and hopefully we come away with the points.
And by the boys, you mean your team, not their team, the boys. Yeah, specifically.
Everyone can have some belief. I've got enough for both teams. Let's have a good contest.
I would like to extend a thank you to Mendrix and Carbon for being here on the analyst desk. Thank you also to you at home for watching us today, and we hope to see you again next week. See ya.
on his Scuttle Crab. Surnefire trying to stop him. Exhaust comes out for Choo-Choos, and first blood picked up by Tainted Mind. And gets him with the blind cocoon. Surnefire takes a lot of damage. Predator puts down the pain, flashes away, but the quick draw from Surnefire picks up the kill onto the Poppy. For it, Fantix wants in. There's the critical coming out. Destiny jumps in. Big ultimate coming out as well. Now Shorter Race has got to be really careful because Surfire's on top of it. Look, Destiny has been locked down, flashes away. Cake gets sniped off. King on a phenomenal performance so far. Gets Rosie as well for the 1-2 good night here as a double kill comes out for King. Here goes Fantix, ghosting in, locks down Cake, jumped on by a tree, claps to pick up the kill, and Shorter Race now taking the brunt of the damage. Surnefire slams it into the wall by the Poppy. Jimmy's trying to take the brunt of the damage, more than happy to take up the Poppy. Now Cake is going to be collapsed on. Big ultimate comes out from the Graves. Shorter Race is going to be the next target here as they collapse onto the Wincy Spider. Rosie is Arcade Misfortune, not going to be able to do too much as Direwolves clean up Tainted Minds. That should be game.